You don't know me, but I'm about to share an unusual side of my life. I've been married to David for 10 years, and we have a pretty ordinary, peaceful relationship. Yet, as the years passed, excitement started to feel like it was fading, replaced by routine. Then one evening at dinner, David brought up a suggestion I couldn't believe. He suggested adding a bit of excitement to our marriage by meeting two strangers. Accepting it wasn't even on my radar at first. But after that night, David's suggestion kept playing in my mind. Even when I closed my eyes, I found myself thinking about it over and over. Deep down, I was startled by the curiosity it awakened in me, but there was also something else: excitement. A few days later, the evening David called a surprise finally arrived. When our guests walked in, I felt my breath catch. They introduced themselves, and I could feel an instant spark of connection between us. There was a subtle smile in their eyes that sparked something new in me. I thought, "Emma, what are you doing?" But the thrill was already growing stronger. As we sat down to chat, I surprised myself by engaging in conversation with a confidence I didn't know I had. Each moment we shared brought us a little closer. My heart started racing, and while part of me wanted to step back, that inner excitement had already changed my mind. There was a new light in my eyes at that moment. I decided to listen to that inner voice and experience this rare moment instead of walking away. As the night went on, the atmosphere became even more unique. David held my hand to encourage me, and I could see his usual calm confidence in his eyes. But I realized this would be a new experience for both of us. In this unusual evening, all my fears and worries disappeared, even if just for a moment. My heart was racing like crazy, though. Every glance and small gesture we shared with our guests created a new rush of excitement. I felt a courage I hadn't known before, as if I was experiencing a once-in-a-lifetime moment. Feeling David's support in such an unexpected way erased my last bit of hesitation. Then just at that moment, the phone rang. All night, I'd thought everything would go perfectly, but that sudden call caught us all off guard. For a moment, time seemed to stop. As David answered, I felt a wave of unease. "Is this a sign?" I wondered. David finished the call quickly and turned back to me with a reassuring smile. Even that brief interruption seemed to fuel my excitement even more. When we all came back together, it felt like our bond had grown stronger. The silent, mutual looks between us only made the moment feel more special. That was when I decided to completely let go. David's supportive gaze, the mysterious looks from our two guests. Together, it felt like we were in a world all our own. I was no longer the same Emma I knew. For the first time, I felt truly free. When I woke up the next morning, I felt a mix of emotions, but mostly satisfaction. The events of that night weren't just an unusual experience. They gave me the chance to discover my own boundaries. Looking in the mirror that morning, I saw myself with new eyes. The sparkle in my eyes was a reminder of a night that had changed me. As David was preparing breakfast in the kitchen, I went over to him and our eyes met. At that moment, I realized that this experience had brought us closer in a new way. This unusual experience seemed to have strengthened the bond between us. The happiness in his eyes made it all worth it. Forgetting that night was impossible. Every time David and I were alone together, we could see the same excitement in each other's eyes. That experience had given us both a fresh perspective, strengthening our bond in a unique way. One evening, as we quietly sipped coffee together, I shared my thoughts with him. "This was an unexpectedly beautiful experience," I said, smiling slightly. David expressed that he felt the same way. Right then, we both realized we had the same thought. We should do this again. A few days later, David surprised me with another plan. This time, he told me that two different people would be visiting us. My heart raced, and the thrill of our first experience returned instantly. The mystery and curiosity of a new experience were blossoming inside me. That evening, when our guests appeared at the door, I felt a familiar excitement. We greeted each other and invited them in. This time, everything flowed more naturally, as if we were moving with a newfound ease from the previous experience. As the conversation deepened, I felt the boundaries between us slowly fading. Everyone's smiles combined with a positive energy that filled the room. Each time our eyes met, I felt another wave of excitement. David's trust in me erased any remaining doubts I had. On that extraordinary night, I felt like that free and brave version of myself, Emma all over again. As dawn approached and everyone left, David and I were alone. We looked at each other in silence. There was the same spark in our eyes and a slight smile on our faces. This experience had not only strengthened our bond, but also given us both a new sense of confidence and excitement. We both felt like this was just the beginning. After that night, a new chapter opened in our lives. I realized that this excitement we'd added to our relationship was only the start. One evening, David suggested something different. This time, he wanted to have a similar experience himself. The idea of him meeting with two women surprised me at first, but the thought of sharing in his excitement also thrilled me. Watching him, I saw a new meaning to the bond we shared. Sharing this unique journey has given me a great sense of confidence, and telling my story here encourages me to take even more steps forward. Over time, I look forward to finding new people to join these experiences. Who knows, maybe one day, I'll be able to share even more stories with viewers like you. If you'd like to explore more of these experiences or find inspiration from our journey, subscribe to my channel and share your thoughts in the comments. This adventure could become an excitement we all share, and maybe in the next story, we'll meet you there.